Welcome to another episode of Indie Game Lab Studios. I'm Garth, your host, and today I'm joined by Evan and Scott of Tales of Eukarya, a sort of tense dueling game. There's a drafting element as well. Evan, thanks for joining us. Fill us in on what this game is about.
So, Tales of Eukarya is a game where you will be building a team of animal characters. These animals are all super powered by a comet that kind of crash landed onto their planet, shattered in the atmosphere. Kind of a classic trope. You touch the comet shard, you get some powers.
Nice.
But you'll be building this team of three, and with the help of those shards, you'll be dueling it out to find the victor. And so the goal of the game is simply to have at least one surviving character at the end of the game.
Brilliant. Okay, so we are starting stream. We don't have, so we're doing this at a different time slot than we usually do. So we don't have our usual cast of characters, which is good news for anyone trying to win because without Nerd here, we actually stand a chance. The problem though is we don't have Joe, so I'm paranoid that the stream isn't good. So I'm just gonna make sure that we have some audio here. Pardon the. Yep. Okay, I hear myself. Perfect. Okay, cool. So we're live. We're going for it. So this is a 1v1 game. Is there maybe how does the turn structure? How do we actually play this game?
So there's two main phases of the game. The first one is the drafting phase, and where we're basically going to go back and forth drafting characters.
Okay.
We're going to be playing the standard mode today, so we'll actually be receiving our shards at random. It's kind of dealt to us.
Okay.
And we'll draft the characters. After we finish doing that, then we move into the other half of the game, which is the actual meat of the game. And within that, combat works, in my opinion, fairly kind of in a novel way compared to a lot of other games. So it's simultaneous selection.
Nice.
So we'll choose a character and reveal it at the same time. And then we'll find out the priority through the character's speed values.
Okay.
And at that point, we have the option of playing a shard card. The catch is only one shard can be played between both of the players. So if the first player plays one, the other one can't. Or they could pass, and then the other player can. And then after that, we use our skills as written on the characters, and then move into a quick combat phase. And things happen. Characters get damaged, shards get discarded, and that's a round. Each round is actually fairly quick.
Nice. Okay, great. Well, yeah, let's get into it then. I'm excited to see. It sounds like there's a good amount of kind of anticipating what your opponent's gonna do, and then like if you know that your opponent knows that you've got one best play, like you want to maybe not do that. So I think there's gonna be a lot to dive into here. But maybe what we could do is also we're joined by Gecko, aka Scott. He's our player 2, so hi, welcome. Thanks for playing.
Hello.
Hi, Scott.
Yeah. So Scott is also been involved in sort of the playtesting / kind of developing of this game, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been there since the beginning.
Great. Well, with that, go away so we can or earmuffs so we can talk about some strategy while we do the drafting.
All right.
Okay.
So shall we begin the game in that case, or is there anything else that we should discuss before beginning?
No, yeah, let's dive in. I mean, I'll have some questions for you as we go, but
Okay. I'll kind of talk our way through this first match. So
Right on.
at the start of the game, again, this is the standard mode. There is a more advanced mode that is more involved.
Okay.
But for this standard mode, we're both going to start by drawing 4 shards into our hand. And so these are, as you can see, they're kind of given to us randomly. And so I have... Scott is not able to hear us right now, right?
Correct, unless he's cheating.
Okay.
It's the power is in his hands, so.
Because he will know what I have as soon as I say it. So I've got something called Support Shard, Switch Shard, Revive Shard, and Sturdy Shard in my hand.
Nice.
And they each do a different thing. Every shard is unique. There's 15 shards and 15 different effects. And so probably the most important thing for me here is this Sturdy Shard and the Support Shard.
Okay.
The Sturdy Shard, because it grants me some additional power during a round.
Mhm.
And this can be very valuable for certain characters. And the Support Shard, because it allows me to use 2 skills in a round at the cost of damaging somebody.
Okay.
And that will also be extremely valuable depending on the characters that come up in the draft.
Nice. So
the way we start
in a tournament,
Go ahead.
in a tournament mode, you'd be like drafting these shards at the beginning, but
Yes, in the tournament, so we're going to be drafting 4 characters.
Okay.
But in the tournament mode, you would draft 5 characters and 5 shards.
Got it. Okay.
So it's a much longer process. And in addition, we can see what we've drafted the entire way through, as opposed to not being able to see the shards.
Okay.
So there's a different dynamic.
That's
But anyway,
cool.
so we're going to start by drawing the first character card and revealing it. And we're going to check the speed. So my Mindy is a slow 2, and Scott got himself a mid 7 Lux. So mid is always faster than slow.
Okay.
So that means that Scott has priority for the draft. And we're going to set these cards to the side.
Cool.
And so the draft starts by simply showing off the top 3 cards. And Scott is going to choose one first. And drafted cards are always visible to both players until the end of the draft.
These are adorable little creatures. What is this? Where'd this art come from?
The characters were co-designed with the help of 3 different artists.
Wow.
Scott chose Hashke here. This artist, Twarda, she is actually pretty much the main artist of Tales of Eukarya.
Okay.
She drew most of the characters, whereas Oz and Kane here were drawn by a second artist, Nezu Panda.
Nice.
And he then finally there are also 3 characters who you might see in the draft at some point,
Okay.
drawn up by the third artist.
Sweet.
So he has Hashke, who allows him to see my hand.
Oh.
So I need to anticipate the potential of giving away a lot of information later. And I've got the option of playing Oz, who allows me to switch. And this is an important thing. Oz, so there's only 1 skill per player used in a round.
Yeah.
And Oz, if I switch him, he actually prevents the character switched in from using their skill. So this is important for certain characters.
Okay.
My other choice is Kane, who, if anyone gets damaged by a character skill, that damage gets canceled out, and I heal one of my guys instead.
Okay. It's like kind of a counter pick to someone trying to damage you with skills, which
Right.
Hashki does.
So what I'm going to go ahead and do is take Kane
Okay.
in anticipation of having things get damaged, because right now I don't know if that Oz will be valuable. In the next round of drafting, we actually alternate. So this time I'm going to choose first. So I've got Yantra, who is an entire ant colony, Jester the Otter, and another Kane. This is the mid Kane.
Okay. Is there like a benefit to having the same character but like different speeds?
Usually there's no benefit. In fact, it's generally discouraged on a strategic level because this Kane here heals, this Kane heals, and it basically causes me to have a very narrow strategy.
Got it, yeah, okay.
Too much healing is not necessarily a good thing. Yeah. What I will do, however, is I'm actually going to grab this Jesta.
Okay.
Now, the important thing about this Jesta is it actually discourages Scott from choosing the blue hero characters.
Oh, because
which is great because now they're all heroes out now.
Oh, that's brutal. Okay.
Because this Jesta actually gains power when he's fighting a hero.
Yeah.
So this time it's Scott's turn to choose. And the third artist, by the way, drew both of these bear characters, Dorf and Madhu.
Okay, PJ Metal. That's awesome.
Very talented artist. He did a lot of the supplementary art as well for Tales of Eukarya. You won't see it in the game, but you can see it in any of the other resources.
Okay.
So let's see. Eiler here wants me to have no shards in my hand, and Madhu actually works best when Scott has a lot of power. Tough choice, but I will grab Madhu. Madhu's a sun bear. Fun fact: sun bears are the smallest species of bear on Earth.
That is a fun fact.
They have a very long tongue. And so for this last character draft, it'll be me again. And
So you could take the Hashki to force him to have another blue character.
That is very true. But the issue there is he would definitely take this Neela, because then I would have two villains.
Oh.
And that is a strong Neela. She skips the damage part and just straight KOs the enemy.
Straight KO. Wow.
So, I can, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab the Neela.
Okay. Yeah.
So he can either weaken himself by taking Hashke, or give himself more of a balance by taking Mindy.
Mid 1. That's really slow, right?
Mid 1, it's the 13th it's the 13th slowest card.
Okay.
So at the end of the draft, we now just take these into our hands.
Perfect.
Where's my hand?
All right, so your one guy that is good against heroes is not going to be that great.
Hold on, let me. There we go. Are these in my hand? They are not in my hand yet. Why can't I not put the? I'm saying 4. There we go.
Nice.
So at this point, we are now going to discard 1 shard and 1 character, and these are discarded in secret.
Okay, that's fun. So if I were you, I'd get rid of the thing that's good against heroes, right?
Justa would probably be an ideal card for me to scrap, given what he drafted, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I have to get rid of 1 shard. Now, earlier I mentioned that this sturdy shard that grants power can help me power up my characters. So if I look here, Madhu does not want that. Madhu wants less power.
Yeah, that's right.
Neela, she works best just by fighting a villain. And Kane, well, he turns into a 5 on his hurt side, so I don't know if I necessarily need the sturdy shard.
Okay.
However, Revive shard gets me an additional character at the exchange of KOing a character. That can be a strategic choice, though. Then we've got the switch shard, which allows me to just switch them up, and the support shard, which allows me to use an extra skill. And I'm going to tell you right now that the support shard will very much come in handy, so I do not want to get rid of that. And the switch shard also will come in handy, but thanks to Neela.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to get rid of the sturdy shard, believe it or not.
Okay.
I'm gonna forego some of that additional power. All right, now we're ready to go.
Nice.
So, as I said earlier, we're gonna choose a card at the same time, and I'm gonna go ahead and use this one, and we're gonna reveal them.
Okay.
All right. So first thing we do is we look at the speed. Hashke is fast, and Madhu is fast.
Okay.
But you'll notice that Hashke is a 5, and Madhu is a 2, which means that Scott gets priority. Okay. So he's going to choose whether or not he wants to use a shard.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back. That was a fun draft.
Yeah, it was interesting doing it with no sound whatsoever. It's going off, clues. I will, in fact, play a shard.
Alrighty. So he's playing the Ever Shard, which is basically shard locking me. I have the option at this point to damage one of my characters. I can choose either Madhu or something in my hand. And if I do, then that Ever Shard will not go back to his hand.
Got it.
In other words, it's to keep it if I don't damage a character. And so I actually will damage Madhu. I'm going to go ahead and damage Madhu.
Oh, okay. We didn't talk about that, but that's clever. Okay, so the gray side is damaged. Nice.
Right. So the way this game works, basically each card has 2 hit points,
Got it.
and the second hit point is the other end. And you can see that Madhu's power increased actually.
Yeah, which is not good for with his ability. Okay,
Right.
cool.
But it still comes in clutch against
Yeah.
this Hosh. So anyway, that means that the Evershard is going to be discarded at the end of the round.
Okay,
But
nice.
it also means that because Scott played a shard, I can't play one of mine. So we go straight into skills. And the first thing that happens is Hashke, because he's faster. I have to show Scott my entire hand. I'm going to go ahead and grab my cards.
Ah,
Oops.
yes. Nice.
And then he can take a look at those.
Perfect information. Except he doesn't know which one of these you're going to be playing at any given time.
Right. But now he knows that they're in my hand.
Yep.
Thank you, Scott. So then we go to my skill. My skill is kind of a more passive thing. It just says the character with less power wins.
Yep.
A notable thing in the game is that even though Madhu says that, that effect does not actually happen until Madhu's turn. There are occasions in this game where Madhu's skill might not happen.
Right. Okay.
In that case, the skill has no effect, but it does happen here. So the character with less power wins. Now that we've both had a chance to use a skill, we take a look at power. Hashke has 5, Madhu has 4. Normally, Hashke would win, but because of Madhu's skill, Hashke gets damaged.
Nice.
So now Hashke is a 3 power with no skill. And now this Evershard is discarded, and we return the characters to our hands.
Brilliant. Okay, that's cool.
So that was the very first round of the game. And we're going to continue doing this until one of us runs out of characters. If a hurt character is damaged, it's KO'd.
Right.
And the discard pile is actually shared, which is important.
Oh, okay.
Because you'll know, because I have that revive shard.
Right. Okay.
Later on, I could choose to revive his character to my hand.
Nice.
But anyway, tough decisions. I am going to go with, I actually did not draft optimally, and I have a feeling that my cane is not valuable. In this round, it is definitely not valuable. So we have back characters again. Mine's an 8 and his is a 7, which means I get priority to use shards.
Okay.
And, okay, this is neat. So watch this. I'm playing the support shard. So the way this works is first I reveal an ally that's in my hand. That's going to be Neela.
Okay.
Then Kane uses Neela's skill, which says if the enemy is a villain, damage Neela, then KO the enemy.
Okay.
Yantra isn't a villain. So because Kane is the one using it, he gets damaged. Yantra's flat out KO'd. And then I have to damage Neela.
Okay.
Because it's her kill. So I just damaged 2 of my guys in exchange for getting rid of something that is potentially dangerous.
Okay, nice.
I'll tell you right now, it's not the best play in this particular context, but I wanted to show you how that works.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
And since there's not even a combat round this time because Yantra was KO'd.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Both players are down to basically 3 hit points and 2 shards. Probably could decide the game right here.
You would be surprised at how swingy this can get on occasion.
Okay.
It's possible to predict the winner, but not always. It gets pretty swingy sometimes. Anyway.
Okay.
All right. So my character, Madhu, is faster than Dorf because Dorf is slow. So I have priority to use a shard. Now I have an important decision to make here. The thing is, Madhu wins with less power, but right now Madhu has more power. So Dorf will win, thanks to Madhu's own skill.
Yep.
And if you take a look at Dorf, it says if Dorf wins combat, KO the enemy. And then damage him, so he'll turn into a 6.
Jeez, okay.
So if I want to save Madhu, I have to switch. And that's not hard to do. So I'm going to go ahead and switch using my special pink shard here. I'll throw Madu back into my hand. And then I have a choice of my other two characters. They will use their skill later if they have one.
Okay.
But I'm going to go ahead and just throw out Kane arbitrarily.
All right. No skill.
Now, we go into skills because, again, once a shard is played, we go directly to skills. And since Kane has more power than Dorf gets damaged.
Boom.
And that's... Now, if you remember a couple of minutes ago, I said that I did not draft in an optimal way.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that shard I discarded earlier?
I see, yeah.
If you look at the numbers of my cards, 4, 5, and 5, none of those are higher than 6.
Yeah.
And I don't have that shard to help me get back up, to help me get to 6.
How are you ever going to beat him? Okay.
Well, Madu will allow me to do that, but be alive to fight Dorf.
I see.
So I'm in a pickle. All right. So he has shard priority because he's fast and I'm slow. After this first match, we can talk about other aspects of the game instead. I don't have to walk us through every single round.
Right. You guys can just play, and I have questions.
Right.
This is cool though. I really like the kind of simplicity, but like strategic depth here. This is very neat.
I'm assuming that Scott was motioning that he's not playing a shard, since he looked like he was KOing Hashke.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yes, you are correct.
All right, so I know that Scott only has a 6-power Dorf. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not confident that I can win right now. In fact,
depends on his shards, which you have no idea.
Oh no. So it actually depends on his shards.
Yeah.
It literally depends on his shards. So I'm gonna see if I can fake him out first by throwing out this Kane.
Okay.
The thing is, I'm just gonna motion for you to play a shard. Yeah, no, he's not playing a shard.
All right. Okay.
Again, Scott's been playing the game since the very beginning.
Yeah.
The game is like 3.5 years old or something. Okay. Yeah, he's very aware.
Okay, so here we go. Last chance.
And it looks like he doesn't have a shard to help himself. I think he just KO'd Dorf.
Let's see. What has he got? Characters cannot be damaged. That would just delay the inevitable.
Yeah, I'm dead here.
And your ally uses the skill on the opposite side of its card, which doesn't help. Okay, nice. That's cool. So yeah, there's some definitely some like interaction at the beginning, and then it's like, well, there was outs. That's kind of cool. I wonder if all the rounds are going to kind of play out like that.
That Madu, that switch.
Yeah,
that was terrible.
It was a solid switch.
If I could have just killed the Madu, I would have won. As soon as you picked it, I was like, I'm in trouble here.
Yeah. Wow, I see how having the highest power character is just pretty bananas, right? Like the power, like because that guy can just sit there killing off everybody if the other person doesn't have the right shard to combat it.
Yeah, as you see more of the cards in the game, you'll see that also the skills matter a lot as well. There's actually a character who just damages characters that have more power.
Yeah,
similar to Madu, but it's a skill rather than the actual power.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into the next game, and the conversation can be directed more towards any questions you have.
Sure.
I think watchers will understand the game as we go from this point.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, normally we don't try to do like a whole like how to play, but like in this particular case, it's kind of simple and straightforward enough that wasn't too hard to get into it.
Would you like me to
how long have you been working on this game?
Scott, I think you can hang around for a little bit. The game itself, I believe I started roughly 3.5 years ago. I don't think the exact amount of time is important, but it was roughly 3.5 years ago.
Nice.
The characters themselves are actually older. than that.
Ha.
They were not actually designed for any game at all.
Oh, cool.
The characters originally started as a project at work. So I'm a kindergarten and preschool teacher,
Oh, okay, nice.
and I was trying to, and it's ESL because I'm in Korea, so I need to encourage my students to speak more English. So my method was to develop a new kind of sticker chart. If any teachers and parents will know what I mean by that. The problem with most sticker charts is, of course, that they just don't work for various reasons. The kid gets bored, or the I guess the runner of sticker charts, the teacher or the parent, aren't fully consistent with it, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
So I found a way to alleviate most of those issues. And I am not humble. I am very proud of what I've been able to accomplish with these sticker charts. I've been using them in my classroom for about 4 years. They started as Pokemon.
Nice.
So you'd have the sticker chart, and your Pokemon will gradually get stronger as you speak more English, and eventually it would evolve. And then
Nice.
after that, it would culminate in a battle with the gym leader. I played the role of the gym leader. And it's a dice battle where they use their actual sticker chart as a game piece. So I was curious after using it for about 2 years. I'm like, is it the Pokemon that's making this work, or is it the concept that is making this work? So that's when I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can design some characters. One moment while I figure out which card I want. I'm going to tell you right now that Sirius is the worst possible card for either of us to draft. You'll notice because Kitty and Madhu both have 2 skills. Hashke, Mindy, and Jesta both have 2 skills.
Yeah.
Dorf is the only one who would be affected by that Sirius.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of which one we want. I'm going to go ahead and grab the safe choice.
Yeah. And
Kitty's a little bit tougher to use.
you still need to answer to that dwarf too, don't you? Let's see. Oh no,
Also,
there it is, Madhu.
yeah, Madhu supplies that. But anyway, so yeah, it started off with Neela and Eiler. I believe those are the very first 2 characters. You haven't seen Neela in the game yet. Eiler was that cat that was in the previous draft.
Okay.
They were the very first 2 characters, and I had new sticker charts designed. And it turns out it was actually the concept that worked,
Sweet.
not the characters. Meaning, kids enjoyed the characters, even though they had never seen them before.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Here's another little quick strategy tip. I'm choosing Lux because it damages slower enemies.
Oh, okay.
And you'll see 3, if I'm looking at, oh no, 2. Oh, that's a 6. Yeah, 3 of Scott's cards are slower than Lux. So he would probably be an ideal choice.
Okay. Some solid skills there. I haven't had a look at your shards yet, but now I'm taking a peek. I won't say anything. Let's see. Okay. Doing the discard phase. Very interesting. I like this. I love games with like the hidden like action selection, like hidden army movement, basically stuff. This is a really kind of clean example of a game like that.
I appreciate the compliment.
And this is the I can't get over the art either. This game looks like kind of ready to publish. So
I've put in a lot of time and money to get the art where it is.
Right.
Like I said, these characters were all actually designed and drawn for those sticker charts as opposed to for the game.
Sure.
So it's interesting seeing how well they've fit onto the card, especially cards where they're on there twice. So I'm faster, so I can use a shard if I want to. And
Definitely.
So there's a big issue here, and this is where the dynamics of the standard mode come into play.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I don't know what shards Scott has.
Right.
There are shards in the game that will allow Kitty to win, even though she has less power.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Scott has those.
Right.
And to be honest, that may or may not be a hint to Scott as to what shards I have, because I'm talking about it.
I mean, as it stands,
But
Lux is going to damage Kitty and then damage him again. Just kill him in one fell
Right.
swoop. If no shards
So-
are played. Right.
Right. And the reason that that is important to me is because, well, I mean, I'll get rid of one of his characters at the cost of using one of my shards. So I'm actually looking at my shards right now, and I hate that I'm about to do this, but I'm going to play the copy shard, which fizzles because there's nothing that's been KO'd.
But you're just
So this
guaranteeing
copy
yourself.
shard doesn't do it. I just lock Scott out of using a shard.
That's good. That's pretty cool.
So, right. Lux will damage Kitty because she's slower, and then Kitty's skill is kind of like Madhu, which is kind of a passive thing.
Yeah.
And then Kitty gets KO'd.
Brilliant. That's efficiency right there. Whole character down for one shard.
That's the power of a peacock. Right. Same situation. Scott will put himself in a very good spot if he plays a shard to overcome Lux, and that's. And I'm gonna go ahead and let him go at it. So go ahead and play your shard and win.
Yeah, I'll use the power shard.
Indeed. So Dorf wins combat. So Lux is flat out KO'd.
But Dorf did get damaged because
from his skill's effect.
From his skill, but also wouldn't Lux's skill damage Dorf?
Oh, yeah.
First?
Oh, indeed.
Right.
You know what?
It's fine.
Yes.
Same result, though, right?
Yeah. Done. Yeah. It is not quite.
Well, not quite.
Yeah. No, Lux just gets damaged because Dorf never went off. Because Lux was faster. So actually, Scott, throw that card back out real quick.
Yeah.
Another kind of interesting dynamic in this game is the fact that even though Dorf started out healthy with a skill, because Lux damaged him first, he no longer has a skill to use.
Got it, yeah.
Or that, even though he wins the combat, since his skill never got set off, I survive.
Yeah, speed is okay. That's cool. I thought power was the important thing, but in some cases, speed is where it's at. Very, very interesting.
And as you can see, the designer and the longtime collaborator just made a very large mistake. So this game is kind of a step-by-step process.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well,
yeah, I kind of burned a shard for nothing. I completely forgot about the getting damaged part.
We're so nervous on camera.
That's right. Okay. Oh, just Lux is just going to take down the whole team, huh?
Well, so Yantra actually forces Scott to damage one of his guys in his hand. And right now, he only has that hurt Dorf. So I know that Dorf is going to die. But Yantra also will damage Lux in the process.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll see that Lux will damage Yantra first. So Scott's not in the most ideal situation. That Yantra, pending shard play, will die. So I'm gonna pass on the shard. I'm not using a shard.
So if he doesn't play any shards, he just loses right here.
Well, he'll have the Dorf.
Oh, right, because he won't. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not in a good place. Losing my kitty was big. See how this works.
Damage any ally.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
the problem is, I believe I damage my ally first.
Yeah,
I'm gonna kill my dwarf before I actually get the +2. I'll only get a +1, right?
that is true.
Yep. In which case, I lose.
Yep, because Lux will damage Yantra, and Yantra is just a 3. And
Yep.
here's another important thing here. When there's a tie in power, because he'll be 3-3,
Uh,
so the Lifebound Shard operates on whatever's in Scott's hand, and right now he has nothing in hand.
okay.
So he only gets 1 power. Sorry, it operates on how many characters he has. And right now he only has Yantra. So Yantra gets a +1.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a tie for power, 3-3, and Lux is faster, and that breaks the tie.
Boom.
Yep.
Lux just
And
clean.
yep,
sweep there.
Lux is the MVP right there.
Yeah. Now, granted, if I hadn't messed up and if I'd kept this power shard in my hand,
That would have been
I
Yeah,
could
that
have
would've been
stayed
the
in for
difference,
longer.
yeah.
But I messed up and I miscalculated. I forgot about the fact that dwarf would get damaged first, and so I lost. I
Nice.
realized after I discarded my after I made my choice for my team, I realized that all of my characters were slower than Lux.
Slower than
But
Lux, yeah.
I was committed to it at that point. I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'll do it. Pity will pull through. She died first round.
All right, so we've got. Is this kind of a complete set? 36. Is this 36 characters and 15 shards?
Yep, this is the full game.
Nice. That's a nice tight package too. Like a nice like kind of small game. That's always nice to be able to have. Um, kind of bring to the table something nice and kind of compact.
Right. 51 cards.
Right.
Nice and small.
51 cards. In fact, I think there's like some design competitions you could submit that to.
Yeah, I've actually considered it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rules are in terms of having a game that already exists, even though it's unpublished.
Right.
But if possible, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I think that's another cool option for how to spread the word about the game.
Oh yeah.
Well, how are we looking on time, by the way?
Yeah. We started a little late. I think we got time for one more game. I'd like to see. I'd like to see one more. See one more run if you guys are up for it.
Yeah, let's go for it then.
All right. Okay. Huh. That's a good. That's.
Did you have any more questions about the game or the characters, the history of it, or anything like that?
Yeah. So what? So so you're like the designer. You've got 3 artists. You said. What's the sort of the playtesting, developing, sort of aspect of this been like? Have you been like a kind of consistent team playtesting, or kind of floating around? What's that story?
So the game, the core playtesters have actually. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of a weird dynamic. So the focus group for the characters has actually consistently been my students at work.
Ha, nice. Okay.
Because I use these not just in the sticker charts, but I actually use these characters in a variety of ways in the classroom. But once the game got started, the original game actually was intended for kids. It was actually a very simple chip-based game. Same idea of 2 hit points, hurt and healthy, and you're damaging, but you would flip the chip instead of flipping the card.
Okay. Yeah.
Or like rotating the card. And all the skills in the game were much simpler. There was only 12 of them.
Okay.
Eventually, I started, like, the game actually was kind of fun, so I started making more. And it evolved into a 24 chip game, and then a 36 chip game.
Nice.
And then I added shards at one point, and there were all these other ideas like items and overdrive forms, which is like kind of like transformations and
Sweet.
all these team cards and and they were all trash, and I got rid of them. And then in the meantime, I had also brought the chip game to the game design group that we have here in Seoul, South Korea.
Okay.
And they encouraged me, and I kind of encouraged myself. It was kind of a combo of like, what if these were cards? And then what if I just kind of made the game slightly more complex?
Mm-hmm.
So I tried it, and that was only about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
It turns out that was the best decision I've ever made in my entire life.
Nice. Yeah.
And it just made the game. It's your turn, right, Scott?
Oh, it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it just made the game much more interesting. The text boxes are a little bit bigger, so I could fit more complex skills on them, and it was just more comfortable to hold the cards, especially as an adult player. And then combined with the increase in complexity of the game, the cards just felt better. Just all of that put together, and then you had yourself a cool game here.
Yeah. It's amazing. I think so it's I can definitely picture this like playing sort of differently in person rather than like on Tabletop Simulator. With the Tabletop Simulator kind of has like a awkward interaction with like the damaging cards.
Yeah, you're
When
absolutely correct.
when you draw them back in your hand, like it's gonna flip back to the right side and stuff. But definitely in the physical copy, I could see it kind of being less awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell people who play online that this game is like a poster child for why TTS can be fiddly.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. I mean, speaking of TTS being fiddly, I'm seeing a glitch on screen right now. I've got like this card like that you guys probably can't see because you're putting cards on top of it.
Oh, I think it's a ping issue.
Oh, is that what it's going on? Yeah.
There's only 3 cards in front of us.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe
I see a
extra
fourth
card
one
that's
there.
left there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are across all the way across the world right now. So, Scott, you're in South Korea as well?
Yeah, yeah. I'm in Seoul as well. I'm
Sweet.
part of that design group that Evan mentioned.
Nice. That's very cool. So, how big is that group?
It has fluctuated in size.
Yeah, right now it's about 3 regular people,
Okay.
but it's been as big as 5 or 6 depending on like
Nice.
the time of year.
Sure.
Like many years ago, it was like 8 sometimes.
Nice. Okay.
But COVID-19 took a heavy toll
Yeah.
on that.
Sure. Ooh, look at that power.
I'm telling you right now that I'm not in a good situation.
No.
I mean, yeah. Some will win. This one will get hurt, but it'll take something down with it.
Yeah. So if you haven't noticed yet, each character is themed out. So Rama, good example here. Rama, all 3 copies of Rama have a very high power. In fact, I think they're the only cards in the game that have 7+ power written on the card. But it's at the cost of something in his skill. So this Rama, he actually loses power over the course of the game. And this Rama just hurts himself.
Or for those of you watching the stream, it's this Rama we're talking about. So weird that it's like
and you'll have noticed that the Neelas, they all look at villains and get a power boost.
Yeah,
The Jester, they look at villains. Heroes get a power boost, etc. So each character is kind of themed out to something.
I like that. That's cool. And yeah, it definitely makes sense that like, sure, you can have 2 of the same hero, but like now you've kind of, you don't have as many options as the other deck maybe.
Right.
I like this discarding phase because now you've seen everything that your opponent has, and it's like, okay, what thing do I not need to have access to during this duel? I feel like this game rewards a lot of, like, you can really strategize with this. Like, as a kid, like, you can also just like play the things and see what happens, but like, I feel like you can really get really thinky with this as well. I like that.
There's a lot of cool synergies that are available. And something that I didn't do this, I'm about to explain something, and I did not do this intentionally, but I've tried to kind of create a habit out of it over time. There's something in the education industry called octalysis, and it's a part of gamification. And the idea is, one moment, hold on a second. Let me make sure I don't screw myself over here. Yeah, we're gonna go with this one. Hold on a second. I'm sorry, I'm gonna slow myself down for a minute. I'm gonna lose. Anyway, so there's something called octalysis, and it's used in gamification of education. And ouch.
Ooh,
Wow. All right.
It's a 5 power.
Okay. What say you, Scott?
I'm definitely playing a shard. Because I lose otherwise. Because I only go up to 7.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna double shard.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So this is
Fun.
fun. It's a nice flex. So yeah, Eiler is gonna, when her skill happens, she's gonna look at shards in hand. Right now there are 5 total shards in hand, 2 for Scott, 3 for me.
Yeah.
So she's gonna gain 5 power for that.
Boom.
And thanks to the shard, she's gonna gain 5 power again. So she'll be a 12.
Yeah, that's just showing off.
Right. And so Rama up there. The cat eats the chicken.
Okay.
So anyway, octalysis. It's also called I think it's called the 8-core drives or 8-core drivers. And the way it works is the creator of it, I don't remember his name at the moment, but the creator of it, I want to say he was like a Canadian Chinese guy. I could be wrong there. He identified 8 different aspects of gaming that attract and hold and engage players.
Mhm.
So one of the easiest examples to give is luck. Some players really enjoy luck in a game.
Yep.
Rolling some dice, drawing random cards, things like that. But then you have other players who enjoy rewards. So finding a treasure chest and seeing what's inside, or getting like a really cool item for defeating a boss, things like that.
Mhm.
But then other people will like the character they're playing as, and so on. There's 8 of these, and he goes into a lot of detail for each category. And so in this game, you have characters. So you're playing as these different characters. You've got luck because you don't know what the other player is going to play.
Mhm.
You've got, there's not really a reward aspect to it, but there's also risk management in that, there's that bluffing aspect. Which character do I want to play, and what character is he going to play? I really want to do this power move, but, it might not work.
Yeah.
Scott, are you playing a shard, by the way?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Okay. So each of them
This
will
way I
damage
forced you
each
to
other.
roll.
Or
Ever shard.
Ooh.
I like this one.
Why would you do that?
Because I enjoy catch 22s.
I like the design of this shard. You have
But
a
at
choice.
the same time, though, let's see. Each have 4. What I could do is damage Eiler. I'll still win the fight.
Ooh,
Ooh.
that is a good point. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ouch.
I was
Oh
actually-
yeah.
I
So
was
yeah,
actually gonna
for
throw
the
that.
watchers, there are 4 shards in hand at the
Yep.
moment. So Eiler gains 4 power, and as mentioned earlier,
Yep. Fast.
breaks time,
Yep. Exactly.
and Eiler's faster.
Nice.
I was actually planning on letting you win that fight just to get rid of the
Yeah.
Rama
If you
and
hadn't
not-
played that shard, at least they would have killed each other, wouldn't they?
Eiler wouldn't have died. Eiler would have been hurt.
Oh, okay.
Just would have been damaged. But you would have still kept the shard.
Another aspect of this game that is kind of like, it's kind of an open secret, is that villains always lose power. Sorry, gain power. Villains always, they lose power. Sorry about that. And they always lose power on their hurt side, whereas heroes always gain power on the hurt side.
I hadn't noticed that, but that's cool. Okay.
The philosophy there is, you watch a movie and then the hero gets beat up,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden gets a power boost.
Right. Okay. Fast.
I will not play a shard.
And neither will I.
Okay.
Okay.
Say no to your
Straightforward
skill.
damage.
I know what's got. Oh no, he didn't. Okay.
All right.
Ooh. I should have done something else, but no. Okay, interesting. All right.
Here's a case where Rama
Yeah.
comes in clutch. So that Sirius actually blocks Rama from using his skill, which is a
Helped.
good thing
Yeah.
because Rama hurt himself.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no shard.
No shard. Oh shoot.
Likewise, so Sirius is going to get slapped.
Sweet.
Huh.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be quite
Notably though, because there's one KO'd character, this Rama would have turned into a 6 had Sirius not turned the skill off.
Got it.
Yeah, I probably should have played that differently. Oh well.
Okay.
That Eiler is quite strong in this game. Normally shards would have gone away by now.
7 to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at that Eiler becoming a 7. Are you playing a shard?
I am.
Oh, 6
no,
to 7.
because you'll get onto a 6. Yeah, you'll get onto a 6. I'll be a 6 anyways and I'll beat you. And then I'll let you use a shard. I don't know what shards you have in your hand.
Yeah, I really like that aspect too of denying your opponent the option to use their shard by like.
Yeah, I think I still do it.
Just to play safe. Okay, so now you know that.
Eiler's gonna be a 7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she'll be a 7. And yeah, Rama just go. Yeah, okay.
Just damaged. Nice. Okay.
Can't believe you chose 2 Ramas. You're a maniac.
It wasn't a good draft for me this time. I didn't have a lot of, at least for my brain power's a little bit limited due to also commentating, but I feel like that draft didn't present me with a whole lot of solid counters.
Yeah, although I probably didn't need to take that serious.
Have you been gathering like stats on which characters have like the highest win rate and stuff?
I have not. If I were doing more frequent playtesting, I would. But the main idea has been if there is a character who is clearly more popular than the others,
yeah,
or is definitely just becoming an MVP in a lot of games, then I nerf it.
Sure.
I don't want a character who is too strong, of course, but I also don't want a character who's too popular. Yeah. Because then that hurts the other characters in the game. It doesn't matter if it's strong. Like there have been times where like a character was either just not popular despite its strength, or too popular despite its strength, and so I had to change things. In fact, there's actually some cards that don't even exist in the game anymore. Yeah. This used to be a 42 card deck rather than 36, and I actually moved 2 characters.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
You're gonna go up to a 5.
All right. Yeah, I will be a 5, and I'm gonna risk it. I'm not playing a shard.
Okay.
This is the incorrect choice.
Yeah. Goodbye. All right. Other's dead.
Down to 1 damaged Rana. Oh, that's not gonna.
And I'm dead.
Right.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Just kill him.
Yeah, no, there's literally nothing that I can do to win here. The revive shard it'll delay the inevitable because I have a choice of a cat that can't get strong enough, and the other version of Rama, another chicken. And then my speed shard will also not get me anywhere.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I won one. Yeah, in this case, if you had been able to spread around the damage more earlier instead of losing this Rama, you would have been fine. But since you lost the Rama,
that hurt me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I discarded the tactics shard and the yantra. Figured I didn't need the yantra. I took the yantra as a way to take care of Rama one time, but I decided that the Eiler was better for that anyways.
Yeah, that Eiler, she had a lot of longevity in this game compared to other games.
Yeah. Well, usually we burn through shards a lot faster.
Right.
But this time, like, I was purposefully trying to make you spend them instead of me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's why I was kind of letting you win that one time against the Eiler, just because I knew, like, it's fine. I'm taking a shard away from him. And I still kill his Rama.
It's an interesting dynamic where it's like, what's more power? What's more valuable? Like holding on to those shards, or keeping your characters alive.
It's a strange amount of resource management because your resources are your actions for each turn.
Right.
And as you just saw with that particular Eiler, sometimes those actions are resources because it powers your other actions.
Nice. Yeah, and with the small card pool, I think that kind of works. I like that it's like you can basically, after only like I've seen this game played 3 times now, I kind of have a pretty good idea of what all the abilities I could potentially see in a game are. So I can kind of like, I feel like at this point I could make a pretty educated like decision about which, my draft thing. It's like kind of with that small card pool, it like gives you like more sort of ability to strategize, knowing like what potential things there could come up.
Right.
Yeah. Well, great. That was cool. That was fun. That was a fun sort of a different sort of game than we've had on here recently, and I think this is it's really just clean, good fun. So very much appreciate it. We'll be looking forward to seeing more of this. If people are interested in playing this game, where can they find it?
So right now we're actually playing with the tabletop simulator mod. It is in the workshop. I whipped this up just a few days ago.
Perfect.
So you can play on TTS. There's also a screen top version.
Okay.
It is technically a public mod. However, it's not listed on their page. I don't know actually how to get games approved for that sort of thing.
Okay.
But the links for both the workshop and the screen top version are on the Tales of Eukarya Discord server.
Okay.
I think that's the only place currently where that information is available.
Brilliant. So we're going to have 3 links then in the YouTube description below. So if you are interested in checking out the game, click on any one of those links and you can get up and running and play with your friends right away.
Also of note there is for the Discord server, even though the focus is the game, there is a whole set of lore as well. And the Discord server is very fledgling right now, so there's not a lot of information. But the idea is, because there's a lot of supplementary art that involves the characters in various ways. Nice. So if someone is maybe perhaps not as interested in the game, but wants to know more about the characters, over time, there will be a wealth of lore and other information that I'll kind of like revealing. A lot of it's being written right now. There's already a story, a lot of art that depicts parts of that story.
Nice.
But it's not just the game; it's also the brand, basically.
Yes, I know. I'll look forward to getting some merch. Maybe a T-shirt. You can put those on, or some stickers.
It's in the works. It's in the pipe.
Perfect. Well, great. Thanks guys for joining the stream today, and thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back again next week, I believe. So thank you to Tales of Eukarya. Thank you to Evan and Scott. Have a good night, y'all.
And thank you for having us, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks.